bless America.
Oh.
4, 5, 6, 7.
7!
Still gonna
Cheating. Disagree. You should get that.
Where's he? Holy shit.
Let's go! Hello and welcome everybody to Nickel City X-Wing. My name's Greg. We've got 3 big matches for you today as you watch them set up right now. I have a special guest joining us right now. I just you guys have heard me talk about Aerodome a bunch already, but I thought, hey, maybe if you heard about it from the creator, that would spice it up a little bit for everybody. So joining us right now, still only got a few minutes to just talk about it a little bit, is Wade. Wade, what's up, buddy?
Hey guys, how's everyone doing?
They can't answer you, but I'm sure they're good.
Well, answer in chat. I don't know. Say hi. We're doing good. But yeah. First of all, I want to thank Greg a lot and just for having me on, but also just Nickel City's kind of doing a lot of cool things. I know they've streamed a few games, and I know he's talked about it a lot. So it's just nice to see it being played and stuff. Especially by people Greg. I mean, we only met recently, but like it's really starting to get interesting seeing this game grow past the people I know who've been playing it and stuff like that. So thank you.
Yeah, I mean it's super fun. I played the demo at Worlds, whatever con that is, Adepticon, and it was just a good time. I enjoyed it. I appreciate how fast it is to set up. Everything you're seeing on screen right now does not happen.
We often say it's a fun game you play sitting down too, which is also I think just kind of a great aspect. I know the days in some games can be long because you're standing on your feet all day, but that was something I wanted to avoid as much as I could.
Yeah, I mean, don't take this the wrong way. I mean this as a compliment. I like that it's like not dominating my brain while the game's going on. I'm not like trying to figure out 1,000 pieces, like 15 ships. Like, it's just like fun. It's simple. You play your card, you do the maneuvers on the card. There is strategy involved, but it's not like so intense where you're just like overloaded. I feel like you can play a lot of games without feeling worn out.
That's something I also really wanted to do with the design or the development. Was I wanted to kind of create a game more in which, much like a dogfight, it's much more reactionary. More in which like maybe you could think 2 or 3 turns in advance, but honestly, it's usually just one. And like I wanted that feel of like go this way or that way, or like you might have the initiative this round, but next round you're going second and you're gonna lose your positioning and. Sometimes you have to sacrifice that. But like most games, I think it's just a kind of like a fun romp. I do want to make something that was not only easy to play, but also fast. And I think the one-on-one dogfighting style kind of really lends itself well to that. So.
Yeah, it's fun. If you guys don't know, basically you have a deck of 9 cards. And those cards each have maneuvers and shots on it, and you play your card against your opponent and then do the maneuver and shots thing. It's one-on-one. Very, very fun. There's the pre-order kit link in chat. I do have one question for you, like one very specific question. Why is Haley's Comet the best card in the game?
I'm actually, you don't know this yet, but the next patch, it actually does have a slight nerf to it.
What do you mean? What do you mean? Slight nerf?
So it had it applied to armaments. Oh no, that's Orion. I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
Haley's Comet. So like each pilot does have a signature card, which to me was like a really a playground to kind of play with like powerful cards that are unique to a certain pilot. And Haley's Comet's really good. I think
the only flaw in Haley's Comet is that it's a 1. But it also should be a 1 for how powerful it can be with Ash.
It should be a 0, if anything.
But you can split second it, so it can be up to a 4.
Yeah. And I think I think that's just like kind of another fun thing about the game too is like there's just so much area and room for design with the maneuvers and the types of cards that we can create.
Yeah.
Honestly, I've spent most of my day today working on. So we have 180 cards to choose from in the core set, but we're preparing for expansions already, and like it's another 180 cards I've been working on. So it's been fun.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool. It feels like it's almost virtually endless what you can do with it since it's not like a point system. Like the only balance you have to really strive for is on the card itself, you know.
Yeah, and another thing for balance too is like, or like just in general gameplay that I really enjoyed was a lot of games, a lot of miniature games, stuff like that. Once you start losing miniatures, or you start losing ships, or you start losing parts of your list, you start just losing the momentum. But in this game, like I've seen, you can have the big combat, like the big comebacks, just because you take 20 or you take 10 damage and you're not out yet. You're not losing your firepower. You're in some pilots, you're actually gaining more firepower.
Yeah, there's a couple pilots that actually benefit from being down in health.
Yeah. But yeah, it's just like I said earlier. Just want to come on. Thank you. I'll probably come in for a game soon. The weeks are a little busy right now, just because I've been working on. We sent off. I just got the digital proofs last week, and I just sent back some tweaks and refinements. But hopefully, I'll have some physical stuff to start showing off, and maybe we could stream some of that or something. I could send you a copy and have you.
Yeah, for sure.
Show.
I do definitely want to get some games on too. Right now, it's just kind of disjointed and getting like people who can play.
Yeah.
But also, Stream doesn't know this yet. But I bought a deluxe edition for myself because screw everybody else, and I bought a regular edition that we're gonna end up giving away on stream. So when those get out, we'll be able to put those out, and then maybe sometime we'll be able to do like a day-long tournament or something. We can like run a test tournament or whatever.
It won't take a day. But yeah, and the core set's great value. I mean, it's going to be $40, I think, retail. 35 right now the pre-order, but it comes with 16 different fighters and 180 different cards to use to build out your hand. So
yeah, and everything is pretty standard. Like we were talking about the playmats not too long ago. The playmat's like a standard Magic size playmat, right?
Yeah, the core set does come with like a paper one, but we do have, I think, 5 different art styles. I don't know how many. I'm just drawing out 5 different like art styles for you to choose from. Actually, in the pre-order store right now, and I'll have those available. Once I launch the official store as well. So
right. Yeah, I mean, you guys will have all your own stuff, but it's a very, I guess, modular is a good way to put it.
Expandable.
Modular. Yeah, expandable, modular.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Affordable is a thing I really wanted, and fast-paced. And I can't stress those two enough. So
yeah, I think it actually might be one game that is faster in person than it is online, which doesn't happen a lot.
That's interesting to hear. Actually, I'm surprised.
I've noticed my online games have been going like 45 minutes or so, but I feel like in real life they go just a little bit faster. We also always forget to roll for aux boxes.
Oh, that's fair.
I need like a reminder every time.
Sorry, I just had to pull my chicken wings out of the oven.
I'm sorry, oven baked chicken wings?
Oh yeah. Oven baked's the way to go. And that's my hot drop. Am I right?
No. Wait, I'm from Buffalo, Wade. You're gonna pull this oven baked chicken wing crap on me?
Yeah. I'll see you later. No, but that's a debate maybe for another time. I do have to get going though.
All right. Well, thank you for popping by. Again, I'll pop the link in there.
Good luck for your teams. I haven't decided a favorite yet, but it was kind of cool to kind of just kind of start learning about those. I like team play is also something I really want in Aerodome. 4v4 format is definitely a format that I will have, especially at events. So keep an eye out for that.
Yeah, it'd be cool for like a team tournament. You have like one pilot in each of the categories or each of the colors. That'd be a
Yep.
fun
So
thing to do.
that's actually what it is. It's a 4v4, one of each pilot type. So sharpshooter, daredevil, gearhead, and speedster, versus another sharpshooter, gearhead, daredevil, and speedster. And your hit points are actually reduced down to 5, and you're just playing for kills. First person, I think first team to 5 is what we've been testing right now. But yeah, it's chaotic and I love it. So
Cool. Well, appreciate you dropping by. Thanks for taking the time.
yeah, thank you very much, Greg.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Thanks everyone. Have a good night.
You too. Okay, that was Wade, creator of Aerodome. I think he's former FFG. I'm not 1,000% sure about that. I don't want to slander anybody. But hey, we got a game starting. First, representing Team Havoc.
Cry havoc! And let slip the dogs of war!
It's Chris Jenner, aka Let the Wookiee Win, and his opponent, new to the Punishers, it's Joe Churchman. This is his first week as a Punisher. And joining me now, all the way from across the river, in a land full of milk and honey, and we're all out of milk, it's Tim from Canada.
Milk, honey, and maple syrup flavored whiskey.
Listen, Desi brought us some maple whiskey, and it was very good. It was, something Creek, maybe? Cedar Creek?
Forty Creek, my friend. 40 Creek.
Whatever it was, I can't get it in the United States. Now I'm going to have to, take a day trip to the duty free.
Just do that awkward thing like you do at Costco, where you walk through the checkout line, you do a loop at the end, and go back and keep going.
Yep.
Thanks for having me. This looks like a really good matchup you got on the tables here. Looks like we got a Rebel versus FO game going.
Yeah, classic Rebels versus First Order. A shit ton of ships. 6 versus 5.
Well, there's definitely not everybody out there who loves 2.5. There's some people who are still getting adjusted to it, or some people who haven't come to grips with the fact that if you fly over a rock, you might actually just explode now. But I can say one of the things that I love seeing the most are these Rebel salad lists with 5-6 ships on there. You can fit a butt ton of X-wings, and it's the only chance I guess a lot of these rep lists have against something like this from the First Order, because there's just so much ridiculous point efficiency on some of these First Order ships.
Yeah, I mean, the First Order right now, the value is so incredible for 3 attack die, 3 agility on these FOs that all have the ability to raise their dice.
Yeah, you're paying a price for it, but
It's
price
not
is
really that big of a price, to be honest.
It's a very reasonable price, right? Scorch is taking a stress.
Yeah, I mean, they have really good blues, too, so it's not even that big of a price.
I see that Joe went with mag pulse on Malrus and not cluster missiles.
I've been seeing people do the mag pulse more and more lately. I think it's kind of come into fashion. Getting that early jam off seems to always be key. A deplete, always nice.
And in salvage, having that crit, which denies ranged bonuses, can't deny. Can't argue with that type of tool in the toolbox in a setup like this.
Yeah, you're right. Salvage mission 2, the crit becomes super important. I mean, normally it's just hitting shields, which is why I didn't think anything of it. But then I'm when you said salvage, kind of put it together, be like, oh yeah, it's also a crate knocker.
Do we know if the A-wings have ventral cannons or if they're just front arc only?
They are both front arc A-wings only. I think that's because Arvel, like Arvel, you don't want
Oh,
the
that's
cannons.
why I'm asking you. Sure.
But Keo, I think, does want the cannons. So
I've been so impressed with Keo for value. Like you look at the ships you get in that Hot Shots Aces 2 pack. I mean, what do you got in there that's amazing? You've got Resistance Falcon Poe, you've got Ubel, Dirge, just a whole bunch. And then one of them, I believe, is Keo that's in that pack, if I'm not mistaken, right?
I think so. Keo is super fun. I mean, she's just fun, or they're just fun. So they're just fun.
Right, but there's the rebel ability to just throw those two little 3-point olives in the martini at the end of it, right? You just got
Yeah,
this
well, that
little-
like these days it's Aaron Kraken, right? 3 points in the Z95, but the ability, like no one cares about Aaron Kraken. It's the ability to coordinate at I5 that makes Aaron super good.
Looks like Joe won the initiative on that roll.
Keo is going to claim. Keo's a good carrier because when you claim, you usually have that force as a soft mod in that claim turn.
Well, Keo's also super powerful, I think, Greg, because if you remove the A-Wing's ability to do boosts and barrel rolls because he's carrying a crate, how much more money does that side slip now become for you to be
Right.
able to rotate your arcs quickly and get at least a shot on target or dodge a shot and get the heck out of dodge, right?
Yeah, I mean, just objectively, side slips are fun. They're fun.
Oh, they are. They are. I mean, a friend of mine, Scott from London, sorry, he lives in St. Thomas, so like southwestern Ontario. He's been working with Sicko, the Republic Lat jump ship, a lot lately, which also has that extreme maneuvers condition, which lets him do side slips.
Right.
I never bought one of the droids, one of the droid gunships that does side slips, so I don't know of that, but I'm told that they're also a butt ton of fun.
What's Scott's last name?
Scott Ross.
Nope, not Desi. Not Desi, everybody.
Different
We
Scott.
watch, I believe that's Scorch that's picking up a crate there. That could be a little dangerous for Scorch. Although Hollow's there, I assume Hollow's going to evade and then probably hand that off to Scorch, or focus, hand that off to Scorch. Malorus will pick up a crate as well. That is the second crate. Yeah, second crate for First Order.
I love what they did with the obstacles. There's just like so many lanes that the X-wings can jam up through, but if they pick the wrong one, those ties are going to close around them like a bear trap.
Yeah, this is almost like a delayed joust.
What's Arvel doing? He's just up there like neener, neener, neener. I'm going in first, guys. Try and catch up if you can, right?
Yeah, he might have to defend from 2 or 3 shots here. They aren't going to be great shots, so you're kind of hoping.
It's interesting. I wonder if Chris is trying to bait Joe to speed up his approach. No, I don't think Joe's taking the bait. He's keeping Hollow in formation. Gradual approach.
Well, with Arvel, you want to get him bumped up against everybody. So I get what they're trying to do, but I think this might be 4 shots now into Arvel. Again, not great shots as we see Gaelic pick up a crate, but
We got 3 obstructed, probably 2 twos, but the DT doesn't have a mod. Gaelic doesn't have a mod. Static doesn't have a mod, but they picked up all the crates, didn't they? Joe's gonna, what, 3?
Yeah, so it's 3 right now, and I assume that Wes is gonna pick this one up here.
Yeah, why wouldn't he?
Yeah. If you're not gonna commit to shooting, you can't go down 3-1 early.
Yeah,
I
crates
agree
is
with
so.
good.
No, you go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna say I agree with Pim. I think this was 1 turn too early for Arvel to make the move.
You think, eh?
I think if he was in a little bit better position next turn, he could really throw Arvel into the thick of it and start getting those jamming those FOs moves up. I don't think the Rebels are going to have many shots except for Arvel here, so.
Well, we all know what can happen to an A-Wing when it takes range 3 obstructed shots. It can be totally fine, or it can go completely poof.
Yeah, well, Sunterfeld disease is real.
Oh, the Ace of Legend.
So Malor's no shot. Gaelic will get a range 3 unobstructed shot. Going to go ahead and use that ion cannon, it looks like. Wait, tractor beam. Is tractor beam 1 to 3 or is it 2? Oh, I don't know, but it's all 3 hits. No, jamming beam is 1 to 2. Tractor's the whole way.
Is jamming beam only 1 to 2? My goodness, I did not know that.
Yeah, jamming beam 1 to 2, and
Never used the
Marvel's
jamming
gonna
beam.
use the evade to not get tractored, which
So
I think
jamming
is
beam-
smart.
Yeah, you don't want to get tractored here. If Arvel gets a if Arvel gets a tractor token and takes that -1 agility, he's gonna go poof real quick.
Yeah, I also think that a tractor gets him barrel rolled left into 2 more shots.
Yeah, 100%. I got you're definitely right there.
There's a reason jamming beam is 0 points, and it's because no one's ever used it in the history of society.
Well, I wonder if that's where they went when they were designing Magpulse, because you think about what Magpulse has for this great benefit of the cost and the high initiative shooting it at it. Wow, that was 3. Oh no, here we go.
2
Okay,
hits,
okay,
2
right.
evades. Okay, Arvel. This is DT now. DT will take a strain. Hit crit. Oh, it's static. My bad. And that's going to be a damage. That's a shield. This is DT. DT will take the strain to up the dice here. Woo. DT has a shield upgrade, not optics. 2 crits though. Arvel, second shield. Now it feels a little bit like you're giving up those shields for free.
Well, it's like you said, Arvel's got to get in there and fight in, by the belt buckle, but he's got to take the punishment to get to that spot, right?
Yeah. But I think Pim's right. Could have waited 1 more turn to make that move.
Well, I feel like Arvel being up there taking these shots and then not having the X-wings to back him up. Yeah, it's a bit of a range control issue, but he needed to keep Wes a little bit back to pick up that crate. All right, well, Arvel makes it out of there with his hull unscathed, but his shield's down.
Yep. And then at the end of the round, it is 3-2. That's the end of round 2. We head into round 3. Now seems like a pretty good time. Tim, do you want to talk about some? Or Tim?
Well, thanks again for inviting me on.
Yeah.
Today, Greg.
Do you want to talk about some of the events you got coming up in Ontario?
Yeah, I'd love to. Thanks. I've been trying to spread the word as much as possible, and I'm going to share a couple of links with you and any of your listeners that are are interested in it as well, would you like me to drop them in the Discord chat here, or just
Yeah, DM them to me and I can post them. I don't let just anyone post links in the chat because we had
Agreed.
some
Agreed.
troubles.
Yeah, no, for sure. So there's two that I'm sending you. The first is a link to a public Google My Map that a really cool guy in London, Ontario started a while ago named Brian Barter. And essentially, what it is we've started a global Star Wars gaming squad registry. So what we're trying to do is just encourage anybody in the U.S., Canada, and abroad who play Star Wars gaming, otherwise X-Wing, even Legion, Armada, if you're interested in Shatterpoint, that kind of thing. There's a very simple link for a Google Doc to just let us know where your squad is, where you guys play out of, and what day of the week, and we're happy to throw you on this map. It's a really good way to share across different social media platforms and help everybody trying to figure out where the active and real life scenes are. You guys here at Nickel City are so well known for all this amazing digital content that you guys produce week after week, and everybody loves watching it. We really don't want to discourage that. We just want to offer people the opportunity in real life to connect a little bit easier coming out of the last couple of years. So if you play at a store, feel free to fill out the Google Doc and send it over to us, and we'll get you on the map. It's also something that we're using to map out some of the really big, larger than a store champ type events that are happening in the next, say 6 to 8 months. So yeah, there's a couple of them that I can talk about. If you're somebody who enjoys traveling for X-Wing and you don't mind flying, or you can afford that kind of thing, from Eastern Canada or like upstate New York or Illinois, Indiana, New England, that kind of thing. One of the bigger events in Canada this year is going to be happening on the 10th of June in Calgary, which is Western Canada. And it's called the Stampede City Open.
Calgary is the Texas of Canada.
You got it. Where the oil companies are and the best beef comes from, and just the Calgary Flames versus the Edmonton Oilers all day long. There's an event that's basically been designed for people that wanted to fly in and fly out in mind. Jesse Varley's got this great setup where if you contact him as the organizer, best way would probably be email Stampede City Open, all one word, at gmail.com. He's got information on flights and hotel deals so that you can actually, it's not like Schaumburg where you land and then you still got to take like a 40-minute, $80 Uber to the venue. You land in Calgary, you get like a short public transit to your hotel, and then there's nothing but events for a couple of days and so all kinds of local eats and amenities and things like that. Jesse's really done a lot of really good work with somebody else who we all might recognize, which is Andrew Oler. Andrew Oler is going to be the TL
Captain of Order 66, Andrew Oler. Ugh.
So, yeah. And,
Fly Mighty says, American here. I don't recognize the words public transit. Can someone translate?
Yeah, I see it too. That's where you don't have a car. Let's see what the initiative roll does here. Oh, a couple of eyes. Okay.
You can talk over all this. People get what's going on.
Cool beans. Yeah, so Jesse's really run a really great thing. If I had to say three things that really set the event apart from other kinds of events that are going to happen, the fly-in specials for hotel and flights, and then of course if you like Greg, we can ask Jesse to put together a special Nickel City promo code for your followers and listeners that would give a discount. I think he's offering on pre-registration up until the 4th of May.
Yeah, sure.
But yeah, local eats and amenities, and then he's really proud to say that no one's ever going to not be playing. If you're out of the main event, there's going to be tons of side prizes. He's working really hard to try and get AMG involved. There's lots of community prizes already, like tons of participation prizes and winter prizes, but he's trying to get AMG involved, not just for prizing, but actually he really wants them to show up and do a Shatterpoint demo. Um, and yeah, so any information on that, you can find it on the map for the layer of events. So for anybody who's got that link going from the map, there's the default layer when you boot it up is just like where all the squads are. But there's a map layer that you can toggle, which shows where all of the kind of tier 2 and tier 1 level events in the US and Canada over the next year or so are going to be. Stuff like, Nova, stuff like Gen Con is going to be on there. We're really excited about a big event coming up in Ontario, which is actually the weekend before Stampede City opens. So we all know that Canada is so ridiculously big that we can have big events going at the same time in two ends of the country, and it's tough to get people to both of them just because it's so far away. So Jesse's doing the Stampede City Open in the West. The weekend before that here in Ontario, I believe, Greg, you're joining us for the Grand River X-Wing team tournament.
Yeah, so Tristan just DM'd me asking if I was still interested in streaming. Said yes. So I'll actually be doing the tournament in London before then. I forget what it's called. I can't keep everything straight in my head.
The Forest City Open?
Yeah, so I'm doing that one in London, and then
That one's later though. That one's in late. That one's in the end of July.
yeah. So Grand River. So we were supposed to go. We were gonna go play in the Grand River one like 4 years ago, until the pandemic shut it down, and I was super excited about that. So now I'm gonna go stream it. I've heard it's a great time, so I'm excited.
It's an unbelievable time. I mean the format alone under the 2.5 rule set is going to be so much fun. So for anybody who doesn't know how the GRX-TT works, you have to field a team of 4 players. So you were just talking with Wade about the concept of co-op players, and not to do a quick tangent, but Wade's Aerodome is amazing. I think Cam Murray won the Aerodome tournament he played when we were in Adepticon. Team tournament format for the GRX-TT is great. It means that you bring 4 players, you're all on the same team. None of you can play the same faction. So you got to pick 4 different factions to be on your own team. And nobody can repeat an upgrade. So only one of the 4 of you gets a shield upgrade. You can have as many copies of it in the list as you want, but only one of the 4 of you gets to use that
Right.
type of upgrade.
I think more importantly, only one person gets proton torpedoes.
Correct, which makes it really tough, because if you have one of those standard loadout cards where you don't get to choose and it just comes with an advanced proton torpedo or a stock proton torpedo, now nobody else gets to use that. So list building is going to be really interesting this time around, because we've got standard loadout cards, we got multiple versions of stuff going, and then each round, each team of 4 gets matched up against a different team of 4, and the top seeded players in each group of 4 play each other. It's going to be a completely licensed event at a curling club in Kitchener, Ontario. So the rules of the rules of curling clubs is winners buy. You buy the beers if you win a round, which is good. And
Great for me. I'm drinking for free, baby.
Yeah, no, it's going to be a really good time with the GRX-TT, and I think I don't have the official numbers. Last time I checked, I think there were at 15 teams of 4.
Dang.
Which is getting close to the
60
biggest
people?
X-Wing event in Canada since 2019. I think they might have a little bit of room left. I think they might be holding some spots for some people who are on the fence about coming from the States. But I know that the GRX-TT does have a little bit of room left. So if anybody's listening is interested, just check out Grand River X-Wing Team Tournament on Facebook. Or message myself, and I can give you some more info on that. I'm Timbo on Facebook, or Timbo Slice on Discord.
Real quick, do you think Wedge could end up shooting into Hollow here?
I was just thinking,
a
get out of my
strained
head.
Hollow with Wedge ability? Yeah. Since that plasma didn't hit, there's no shame in not keeping it on DT. If that plasma hit, you probably go into DT, but
No, I didn't think Hollow was going to be in that range 3 bubble, but it's just a sliver.
oh, he's not. He's not in the arc.
Oh, he's in range and not in arc.
He's in
Unreal.
range, but not in arc. The
That's
great
gotta be-
travesty
that's
of our
gotta be a
time.
pixel and a half. How many pixels is that? Come on.
Oh my.
There's a screenshot for the highlight reel.
Wedge still rolls 3 hits. I didn't see who he pinged, who the shot's into.
Is he going to spend that focus? Ooh.
Looks like no, not going to spend the focus. And Static will just take a crit. Hits the shield. Wes Jansen III. Wes is now going to fire into Hollow, so this is going to be a classic 3v3.
What a bloodbath in the first couple of rounds here.
Not as much of a bloodbath as I think the Rebels wanted here. 1 damage between the 3 heavy hitters. And that's a jam. You jam the target lock or the focus. The odds are the same. You jam the focus because the focus can be used on defense. I think that's a smart play. Let me go ahead and close bets. Oh, I already closed bets. Smart, Greg. Smart. You're a smart man. Oh, this is range 1, target lock, only 1 hit.
Oh. Why
And it goes for 4. You always jam the wrong one. Oh, Arvel, good night, sweet prince.
Yeah, definitely should have jammed the lock.
I still think mathematically the right choice is the focus, but god damn. If he jammed the lock, you know he would have rolled a hit in 3 eyeballs. It's just the way the world works. Jam the lock for the munitions since it does an auto crit, but he didn't use the munitions, and Arvel didn't have a box. There'd be no reason for him to worry about munitions there. He gets the extra die by going primary, and just natties. I believe this is a tractor beam. Wait, is this a tractor beam? Yeah, this is the tractor beam, and that is a tractored Wes, who then gets thrown forward into the hyenas.
Be prepared.
All of a sudden, Disney's fine with us streaming Star Wars games, but the second we sing Lion King, their wrath comes down.
I can sing the Rafiki song instead if you want. Asande sana squash banana.
Okay. Static. Range 1. Static no longer has a focus, so going to have to live with 2 hits, but you're guaranteed to get at least 1 through, and it is only 1. That's the first shield on Wes.
So just scrolling back in the chat really quick, Greg, there was a couple folks asking about how they get their squad on the map link that I shared.
I shared the link right after Pim asked, I want to say.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So if anybody's wondering, there's the map link to see the map, but the other link, the second one to the Google Doc, is how you submit your community or your
That one.
Legion squad, X-wing, whatever you like. Send
All
us
right.
some info, and we'll take care of the rest. Thanks again.
Wedge, or sorry, down to 3 hull left on West. DT doesn't have anybody. DT will take the strain and shoot into Aaron for 2.
Cool. Just an average roll on that one.
That's not average though. That's the shields on Aaron.
Wow.
Chris might be showing up in the dice whinging thread a little later today.
Wait, there's a dice win. You guys created an entire thread just for Cam Murray? Really?
I mean,
Zing.
it wasn't specifically for Cam Murray, but everyone's available to use it.
But my dice.
So 3-2 yet again on the objectives after round 3. Joe Churchman for the Punishers. This is his debut Punisher game after the trade that sent him to the Punishers from the Tinder Gods, up 9-4 over Chris Jenner and Team Havoc. And the Rebels are not in a great position either, to be honest.
These X-Wings are in prime position to be punished by these FO guys, but the FO guys are pretty close. I would say they're almost too close to be able to retain.
I think they're in good position to get in the way of the X-Wings, get a block or 2 off, and really let Hollow, let Gaelic here, let Scorch do the punishing. I don't know what Keo and Malorus are doing. They're just kind of hanging out, having their own game.
Yeah, they're kind of just dancing off in the corner there together, like.
They're like, this looks bloody down there. What if, hear me out, we don't go down there at all, and no one has to worry?
Well, I'll tell you what, while we're in the planning phase here, why don't I talk about the second event that you're going to be up to record and talk about a little bit later this year.
Sure. The less talking I have to do, the more I'm in favor. In fact, you talk all about it. I'm going to use the bathroom.
That's cool beans, man. Thanks. So for anybody who's not coming up, the Forest City Open is, again, just over the border in Canada. So anybody who lives in the U.S., I want to say between upstate New York, Ohio, Michigan, even Indiana. London, Ontario's only about an hour and a half over the Detroit-Windsor border. So definitely a driving distance kind of event. London, Ontario is going to be hosting the Forest City Open at the end of July. You can search Forest City Open X-Wing on Facebook and find it, or you can navigate over to Star Wars Gaming Ontario Facebook or Discord to get some more information on that one. Brian Barter, who's the same guy who actually made the map that we were talking about, is the guy who's hosting this event. What do we got here? Okay, cool. We got Joe winning initiative on that one. Excellent. Yeah, so the prize pool for the Forest City Open is already huge. They've got charge tokens, all dark cards, templates, range rulers, a whole whack ton of prizes already. And that's going to be at the very end of July. I want to say the week before Gen Con, because Gen Con is the first week of August. Week before that would be the Forest City Open. Week after Gen Con will be the Capital City Bloodbath, which is the event that's happening up in Ottawa on the 19th and 20th of August. And then the final one that's big on the event circuit in Canada for calendar 2023 is going to be the St. Lawrence Open, which is going to be a big event happening in Montreal near the end of the year. And we're definitely going to be trying to put together a decent sized group trip for that one, either by train, planes, or automobiles, or whatever kind of shenanigans we can come up with for that. So again, if you're interested in any of these events, they'll be on the map, or you can reach out to myself. But Greg, I know that the organizers have probably said it to you already. I'll say it in advance again. Thank you very much for volunteering your time and coming to a couple of these events and generating some content for the community. I don't even know what the story is going to be as far as streaming versus recording them and doing it in post later, but regardless of how we make it work, we really appreciate you making the effort to try and make it work, man.
Yeah, no worries. I mean, London is maybe like 2.5 hours from me, so it's not that big of a deal. It's a pretty easy drive.
Well, yeah, I mean, you're from upstate New York, so drives, within a reasonable distance are fine. I was talking to the guys from the UK a few days ago. The longest possible drive is like 13 and a half hours from like one corner of the country to the other.
Ugh. I've done Los Angeles to Buffalo, which was 3 days.
Right, exactly. In 2019, we did that Winnebago from Toronto to Minnesota for Worlds. That was like 19 hours.
Dang. Sherman dialing in from Thailand.
There we go.
Sherman's on vacation. Maybe he should change his name to MacArthur. Am I right, everybody? It's a different island, but still, it's in the same area. That is a self bump and a damage onto Wedge. Free damage.
I love the graphics that you do when you get the subscriptions, the seismic charge. Can't remember who I was talking about that with recently, but I remember we did a stream on VTV Live years ago, and for like a week or two, I had like this Soundbox app on my phone that would just do like pew pew noises, or like the heavy laser cannon, or like the sound that Boba Fett's cannons makes on the fire spray, followed by an explosion, and I just do it once or twice if a ship like went down in flames or something. And then I got all these angry comments on the YouTube video like, "Stop it immediately! You sound ridiculous."
Whatever. That's one of the most satisfying sounds in the freaking world. Also, Hollow pulled a Giga Chad move, and when Wedge locked him, he just removed Wedge's lock and threw it over to DT out of Wedge's arc.
This little parking garage collision cluster muff we got going here is pretty interesting. 2 of the X-Wings bumped and Aaron bumped, eh?
Yeah.
Oh, Yellow Jacket Pim. Very good call. Completely forgot. Hollow is a lady. You're right.
Nope.
Nope. Green dice not here for you. Sorry.
1 shield on Hollow. Is Hollow in trouble? Doesn't feel like Hollow's in trouble.
I'm taking maybe 3 shots, but one of them has a mod? Or are they all folk? No, 2 of them have mods. Wedge bumped into...
Oh. I kept wondering how Kraken was shooting and then Wedge, and then I realized Wedge had swarm tactics.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
And now Wedge reacquires the lock onto Hollow. Giga Chad. And this is a Proton Torp for which Wedge has 1 crit to show for it.
Oh.
1 crit to show for it in a whole Proton Torp. Giga Chad. It goes through. Giga Chad.
Oh, my kingdom for munitions failsafe.
Malorus now will fire a Mad Pulse into Keo.
Is he doing the Malorus Pulse missile here?
Two hits. goes through as well. So a crit plinks on the shields of Kyo, but that is still important because now Kyo will have to drop the crate.
Which of the scenarios is your favorite, Greg?
I think probably Scramble. I'm not very original in what my favorite scenario is. I think most people's favorite is Scramble.
Scrambled eggs is fun, man. It's fun. It's
The fuck you talking
favorite.
about? Kyo didn't get hit. Oh, okay. Kyo didn't get hit. Elusive, yeah, elusive reroll there. I must have missed. Okay.
I thought Malorus had popped the ability. I guess they didn't model those eyes we saw.
I think Malice probably didn't want to be double strained or double stressed, so.
Yeah, that makes sense, I guess.
Hit crit. That is the second shield on Wedge. Axion! What's up, buddy? I know it's action, but I prefer to say Axion. 4 dice must mean it's into Wes.
Okay.
Wes blanks. The poor guy. Elusive on Wes. Hey, 1 crit into Wes. That will make Wes drop a crate, though. And I believe that's a disabled power regulator.
Joe continuing the pressure.
Wes 4v3 into Hollow. Hit, crit from Wessie.
All right.
Hollow, 2 evades. Hollow could die, though. A direct. Let's see it. Another disabled power regulator. Tit for tat.
We're going to have some ionizations coming up.
It's been a bad day for Greek dice.
Yeah, I gotta say, neither player's green dice are really behaving very well for TA. You're right, man.
I think the only saving grace is the red dice haven't been that great either.
Yeah, no, you're right. We haven't seen too many full strings. Mind you, we haven't seen too many double modded shots yet. Malorus has only burned
2 crits into Aaron. Aaron does have the focus for protection. Takes nothing.
a nifty little Z95. I guess I should be calling it a Z95, but I'm going to call it a Z95.
Don't you dare.
New dude to boot it.
Scorch, 3v2 now. This is into Wes, I believe. For 1 hit.
Scorch is opting not to use his ability because he's got no mods. Good call.
He's also stressed already. I think it cannot be. But that's static. I keep forgetting. I keep thinking that's Scorch. I don't know why. I'm stupid. Kyo now. You shoot into Hollow, right? You take your chances.
Kyo got the lock for the conch missile.
Oh my God, Kyo does have a lock.
That could be eventful.
Here's the only bad thing is you're probably going to have to flip a card on Wes, but hey, you get Hollow off the board. Let's do it.
Either that or you just do your 2-die shot and use the target lock, hope for the best.
Going conch missile. Love it. Love to see it. 3v3. Kyo does have a force still available. Math says you re-roll both. Gonna re-roll 1. Doesn't matter. 3 hits. Let's see the natties or see Hollow gone. 1 of 8. No. Goodbye, Hollow. And Wes has to reveal a card now. And that card is a Panicked Pilot. Triple stressed Wes. But Hollow is off the board.
Fly and the Mighty saying Panic Pilot on Wedge, not awful. Not wonderful either. No X-Wing wants 3 stress tokens.
That is going to trigger Gaelic, who will then grab a target lock for DT onto... Nope, never mind. A target lock for Scorch onto Aaron Kraken.
But Keo's already shot, so they're going to have to take advantage of that target lock next engagement phase, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
Back in the plan. Back in the
future.
planning phase. Chris closing the gap on points. Ships destroyed that turn. Do they count objectives, or everybody dropped their crates? Oh, there we go. Yeah, 12 to
12 to 10 now is the score, with the objectives factored in.
Joe's lead kind of evaporated there pretty quick. It's a 2-point game now.
It sure did, but now none of his ships are really in trouble of dying anytime soon. The X-Wings are all stressed. I don't see any way for them to turn around. So I still like Joe's positioning here.
DT's about to show one of the things that I love the most about... Actually, no, because he's already strained. Never mind. I retract my statement in advance. I loved having DT and K turning, because sometimes people forget that even if DT is stressed, DT can still take that strain token and do the dice mod add thing, whereas Scorch is inhibited if he's already stressed.
Right.
Both DT and Scorch have excellent 4K options. DT has a really good 4K option. Scorch has a really good just one turn chip right option here. Gaelic's got fantastic 4K options. Two of the X-Wing, the X-Wing and the Z95 can't turn around. Wedge could if he wanted to.
Wedge can't.
Sorry,
Wedge
not
stress
Wedge,
as well. Wes can't
Wes.
either.
Wes is the one that
triple.
took a little stressed. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
Wedge.
Wes is triple stress. Wedge. All the rebels in the bottom here are stressed. Keo's the only non-stressed rebel.
Yeah, if Chris doesn't put these rebel ships in a spot where he can mitigate some of this damage that's incoming, he's gonna be in big trouble, because the first order player's got some pretty good options here. Is
27.5 minutes left in this one.
We're already ready for the activation phase. That was quick. Okay, Keo wins this one.
Keo. Maybe? Side slips. Get that force back. Why is that red? Was it a bank? Oh, it's a bank.
Interesting. Right?
They did the bank, not the... Two forward for DT. Just
Just
they
a two
oh
forward.
gonna pick up. Gonna go for the jugular. I think this is actually a smart pickup here, because what rebel ship's gonna be able to get a shot on you?
0, and it's a free victory point. Take a free victory point if you can get it, my man. We know this.
That's smart play by Joe Churchman. Really, really showing why the Punishers wanted to acquire him at the deadline.
Hey, Greg, can I ask you a question? Have you ever been a big player of chess in your life?
I mean, like, I know how to play chess, and I've
Sure.
played chess. I wouldn't say I've ever,
Not competitively, just recreationally.
yeah.
Am I the only one that really feels like since objectives have been introduced to X-wing that it's more and more like space chess than it ever has been? Because
You're not the only one, but I am not one. Uh, there is. I'm not familiar. I don't know. Do you know the Planning Phase Syndicate?
I've heard of them. Yeah.
They are. They did a whole series on their podcast about X-wing being like chess. I don't buy it for a second. And I agree with Snaggletooth here, who says Road obliterates any semblance to chess all by itself.
I don't know because chess is about strategically trading pieces at times when it helps. Oh, this guy, wonderful. In chess, you strategically trade pieces when it benefits you. Sometimes you put pieces in odd portions of the board to try and either lure your opponent to that portion of the board or put pieces out of. And sometimes you're for big risks, little gains, big rewards. I just feel like in scenarios like assault and in scenarios like chance engagement, and even this one in salvage, in this example we're seeing here today, that there's so many more parallels between X-wing and chess than there ever have been in the past when it was just pure, unadulterated dogfighting. If you know what I mean.
I don't agree. Respectfully, I don't think chess has a lot in common with X-wing. Wedge just refusing to spend on offense. I guess it pays off that time.
So many.
I think there's a lot of games where you strategically trade pieces. I don't think that's like exclusive to chess.
No, you're right. You're right. There's a lot of games you strategically trade pieces. You're right.
Wedge, for all the focus savings, still ends up taking one down to 3. Gaelic. Do you just go primary into West here? Yep, looks like primary into West for 1. West finally gets an evade. X-wing is like the NFL. 99.9% of people who talk about it have no fucking clue what they're talking about.
I thought that was the stock market.
Oh, that too. X-wing is the stock market. Everything's up to chance. But I think, honestly, like, truly, the addition of dice makes X-wing nothing like chess.
The element of randomness, the element of lack of control, makes X-wing.
I think it's super hard to compare it to chess when you have that randomness, and chess is all about not having that randomness.
You're right. There's a lot less randomness in the game of chess than there is in X-wing. I completely agree with you. And the element of the randomness makes it almost possibly one of the most difficult strategy games, in my opinion, because you can play it completely right. Objectively, your strategy can be completely sound. You can make the right target priority choices, the right range control, the right guns on target, all that fun stuff. And you could still not get the result you wanted to because dice said no. Whereas in chess, if you're doing everything that you're planning on doing and your opponent makes the moves they're supposed to, you just win arbitrarily or objectively, right? So.
Oh, there's our first huge swing.
Okay.
4 dice into Kraken, and Kraken's gonna die. Goodbye, Aaron.
You done messed up, AA Ron.
Go down to Principal Oshag Hennessy's.
Joe continuing to apply the pressure here. First Order just mercilessly, savagely aiming the rebels here.
Yeah, this is more a war of attrition right now that FO is winning. Natties, now the Reds starting to come alive. Wes Jansen also dead.
Well, that is probably going to be the beginning of the end for the Rebel player here.
I think that's actually a game that knocks the Rebels up to 20, and that's before you count.
Well, that was a quick one, Greg.
Three
If,
crates. Yeah.
That was a pretty quick game. If you don't have any objections, I can stay on with you and banter some more.
Yeah, no problem. We got a. All right, so your final here, let's just get that on the record, is 23-11. Punishers take the 1-0 series lead over Team Havoc. And we are going to get set up for game 2. We'll be back in just a few.